What is up, everybody? I am recording today from the home studio. It's been really hard to get away this week. 2-year-old's been a little bit crazy, have a lot going on with day job, all that stuff. But I wanted to make sure to give you guys an update. I missed last week's update, so this week's update will be a little bit long. It's also going to be pretty Mystic Searches heavy, although there are a couple of cool things I wanted to show you in terms of how we manipulated the engine for Mystic Searches to allow more things to be going on underneath. Maybe to give you guys some ideas, and also for those of you who are sort of just as excited about Mystic Searches as you are about NESmaker, hopefully this will give you some indication of some things that are coming and some things that we've reworked into the engine in the newer version of NESmaker. So anyway, without further ado, let's take a look at the first thing that was sort of added. First of all, there's a bunch of little bugs fixed, but also what was added was when you are making music, when you import a Family Tracker text file right now, it automatically populates some space, and then when you export the game, it automatically generates a file called all songs and sound effects or something like that, and that's automatically generated. So you can make changes to that, but every time you go to retest your game, those changes disappear and it re-exports. It runs it through and re-exports what you have loaded in, and that was problematic for one reason. We wanted to create Julian playing his lute, our main character playing his guitar. Now, the way we handled it in Mystic Origins was he was able to play an entire octave of notes, so 12 notes. He could also play them either live or dead. Like if he had notes in his inventory, it would like sing out and it would be magical, and that's how you could cast spells. And if you didn't, it would kind of pluck. So you could still play, you could still practice, but it wouldn't actually have any magical effects. In order to do this, we created 24 effects. That's 12 live notes, 12 dead notes, and depending on the keys that you pressed, it would play a different sound effect. That was one of those. That took up a lot of unnecessary space, a lot of unnecessary references, 24 spots in the sound effects list, and all the data that goes along with those sound effects. That's totally just wasted data. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to create two sound effects, a live sound effect and a dead sound effect, but one that had a variable pitch. Everything else was the same, but the pitch was variable. And the way we handled that was there's some things that we had to do inside Gradual Game Sound Engine to tweak it a little bit, but also we added when Josh exports the all songs with sound effects file, it also exports at the end of it this include for this certain script, and we define the script, and the script defines just like we do all the rest of the scripts. This allows me to create something called extra sound effects, where I can create a pair of sound effects. One was for my note dead, and one was for my note live. And you notice at the point where it uses, this is the pitch value for it right now, instead of it being a solid number. Like, let me go to a sound effect over here. Might be a little bit tricky for me to find, but yeah. So if I was to look at a sound effect over here, where this is the pitch, I believe, this is the pitch here, and instead of being a defined number, now it's a variable. And now, depending on my input, I could just define the variable and then play that sound effect, rather than playing a whole different sound effect for each tone possible. So that saved a ton of room right there in the sound bank, which also means that Mystic Searches will have more music and or more sound effects. Yay! So that's awesome. Also, Cutter Cross has been instrumental in helping us refine and optimize the music and the instruments, and honestly, I can't tell the difference in the songs, so that's amazing in and of itself. So anyway, we've got some more room to add some more music, and since Mystic Searches is a very music heavy game, that's kind of important for us. Speaking of, one of the things that I was working on this week is actually being able to play those notes having particular effects, basically creating your spells in the game. Also being able to show those notes once you've unlocked them. So real quick, let's take a look at this. Okay, so you should hear that okay, I hope. What's neat is now I can go into my music playing mode, and now I can play. And what you see is above my head, you see the note that I'm playing based on the input that I'm providing. So what you can do is you can play 4 notes. If you hold down the A button, you can use the D-pad to play the next 4 notes. You can see here there's a little indicator that you're holding down the A button, and then hold down the B button. Now you notice that last set of notes sounded kind of muted, and that's because I only have so many notes. I gave myself 8 to start with. So you notice, and now it'll pluck. So that plucky sound, that's incapable of actually creating the sort of spell effects. It's basically like I'm out of magic, so to speak. So that's one thing. That was super exciting. The other thing that I worked in was a new menu. So if I hold select and I hit the B button, it brings up my relics and my inventory, which I can then go through and I can select, and I'm gonna get the boots right now. But if I hold down select and A, it brings up my songbook. Right now I don't have any songs. I haven't unlocked any, so that's why I don't see any. And so even if I played the right notes, it wouldn't have my spell effects because I haven't unlocked them. Kind of like in an RPG, if you've leveled up and then you can get spells. Well, guess what? In Mystic Searches, it's sort of the same way, and we've started working on our leveling system. So let me show you the leveling system real quick. Right now, I have set every monster to be worth 1 point. Let me change my item here. Right now, every monster is worth 1 experience point, and you level up at each point. So after I defeat each monster, it's going to tell me that I level up. And I'm still working on making the sprites go away underneath the HUD box, but you can see my experience level has gone up. My strength has increased. When I hit the B button again, you'll notice that my strength right here changes to 1. Okay, so let me go to my 3rd experience level. And my experience level has gone up. My defense has increased. And you'll see my defense has increased. So if I go up again, my experience level has gone up. My magic power has increased. And you're going to see this number go up. And last but not least, if I get this guy, now my experience level has gone up. I've learned a song. So if I go to my song list again, now I actually have a song right here, and it tells me how to play it. Right, right, down, down, left, left, up, up. Now, this will not be the actual notes of this song for real. The notes are going to follow the melody of this song in the game. But now, what will happen right now, just as a test, is when you play this song, the music will change, and it's just a test. So I'm going to go ahead and play that song. And that was right, right, down, down, left, left, up, up. And you can hear that the song changed. So that's demonstrative that it does work. And if I were to restart this and try to play that same pattern, right, right, down, down, left, left, up, up, nothing happens because I haven't unlocked it yet, right? So that shows you a little bit about how the experience system works. Very easy. And what's cool about it is I can set the experience. Let's see if I can show this real quick. So, yep, okay. In my Bank 14 file, I've got tables, and I might make if I end up using this, especially for the RPG engine, what'll happen is there'll probably be a plugin that will let you fill out some boxes and spit this information out. But here's your experience table. So in my game, there are 6 place values for experience points. There's 6 zeros that can then be increased, right? So what I'm looking at is I can actually set for experience level 1 to be reached, you have to hit zeros for all the places except in the ones value has to be a 1. And notice these go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let me just do this real quick. Let's say I have to reach 4 in order for my experience level to go up. Now this is what's cool is it does cascade too. So if you were to fight a giant boss and he gave you enough experience to level up twice, it'll allow you to level up twice. So what'll happen right now is if I do this 4, it's going to do this, and then it's going to check this level. It's going to say, oh, you're above this level 2. Oh, you're above this level 2. Oh, you're above this level 2. So when I get to 4 experience points, it's going to level up 4 times. So let's check that out. But now instead of after killing each monster, now it'll be after I've killed 4 monsters after I've got 4 experience points. All right. So let me just put on the boots, because sometimes I feel like stomping. And notice it did not increase. Did not increase. Did not increase, but when I kill this guy, now my experience level has gone up, strength has gone up, and defense has gone up. We expect it to go up 4 times. Experience level, my magic power has gone up, and I've also learned a song. So now if I look at my songs, there's the song. So basically I leveled up 4 times right there. And what obviously I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't make the numbers that low. This is mostly for testing purposes. So I'm keeping it really low just to test the experience level working. If I put a 1 here and a 1 here, it would be a 1 in the 10s place and 1 in the 1s place. So I'd need to get 11 experience points. So that's an easy way to handle the experience. It takes up a little extra ROM space than more than I'd probably like, but I wanted to make it very malleable. So anyway, you can get to 32 different experience levels in this game, and that's where it caps out. That's basically having everything full up. So let's take a look at a couple other things as far as that goes. I can level up and get up to 2 songs right now that I've already said. I can get all the songs except right now the only 2 of them do anything. Only 2 of them change the music. But there's a problem. Let me show you. I only have 8 notes, so I can only play 1 song. So let's beat up a couple of monsters over here. Okay, and because I have the book relic, it doubles the amount of experience points that I get from each monster. That's what that relic does. So now I've learned a song. I've leveled up and learned a song for all of them. So it's like I've gone up to level 4, and now I'm going to go up to level 8 by getting these 2 while I have the book. So strength went up, defense went up. Now magic power is going to go up, and I'm going to learn another song. So if I check out my song list now, you can see I've got 2. Right, down, left, up, and right, down, left, up, and then holding down the B button, right, down, left, up. Okay, so each of those would change it to a different song. So let me do the first one, and you'll hear the music change. So start menu. As I'd expect. Now I want to change to the other one, but I don't have any notes left, so I can do it right now, but it doesn't do anything. However, I can see that real quick. I've also got the items working, most of them. So I can add more notes because I've got this note pack right here. That'll give me 8 more notes. And when I come out of the menu here, there we go. You can see I have 8 notes again. So now if I play that melody, that's the second song. And now I've got a new song. Now it's going to do more than just literally change the background music. The background music that you're sort of manifesting has different effects, just like a spell, like a screen spell would, while that music is playing. So that's how the experience system works and the music system works. There's items working. Let's show a couple other items and a couple other features. I've also implemented player states. So for instance, let me change water here to poison. All right. And I'm going to fill this with a different color just so it better resembles poison, like maybe gray. All right. So now this water is going to be poison. When I touch it, I'm going to become poisoned, which is going to slow me down. It's going to change my color palette. There's a couple other effects. And there are multiple different types of conditions that your player can have. Poisoned, zombified, confused. Kind of like an RPG, except inside of an action-adventure. So if I touch this, you can see now I'm poisoned. My color, my palette has changed, and I'm much slower, and I can't kind of get going. But if I go into, oops, that's my songs. If I go into my menu, I also have Poison Cure, which is this guy. So if I click that, now I'm back to normal again. And not only am I back to normal again, what I could do is I could put on the necklace here, which is one of the relics. That keeps me immune to status effects. So it changes my color, and I'm now immune to status effects. So I won't get poisoned, I won't get zombified. But also now when I hurt monsters, I don't get that double experience level like I was, and I can't do the stomp, and I can't do speed run. So each of the relics has its own benefits, and some you need to get past certain areas. Some are just beneficial using at certain times of the game, that kind of thing. So the other thing, another item is, let me get hurt a little bit. So I've used up some magic, I've used up some health. Now if I go into here and I use the Rook Leaf, you can see my health up at the top here, my health and my magic have filled back up. So let me go back to the boots, and now I can speed run and do my stomp. So that's some more cool stuff as far as what's going on. Yeah, that's really what I wanted to show you guys today. That's a lot of stuff. One of the main takeaways from this, something I wanted to show for sure, was what's actually happening with this menu here and all the menus now from here forward. You can now create. Let me pause this. Let's pause this. Let's pause. Pause. Okay. So you can now you can now write text procedurally from any bank. So for instance, it used to be where all of the text for your game was in bank 17 with the routines for writing text, all in that same bank. So if I wanted to write something like what you're seeing on the screen right now, I'd have to find clever ways to load a name table and stuff like that, even though it's all text. Well, now, and what this screen is actually showing is this is all pulled from bank 14, which is where all the behaviors for the songs are taking place, and it's also where all the songs, all the actual patterns are stored. So I wanted to use bank 14 to show all the patterns. Okay. Why that's important for those of you guys who might be wanting to make a game, say, with a lot of text. It means you don't have to only use text that's in bank 17 anymore. You can put text anywhere you can squeeze it in any bank. And let me see if I can find it. The macro is actually pretty easy to understand. What you do is, and the name might change because it says write text, but that's a little bit of a misnomer. This is like setting up your text. So you set your text up here, and then you draw a box, whatever size that you want it to be. And so basically you tell it what bank, you write text, and you tell it what bank you want it to be and the name of the string. And I still have to make this work again with my NPCs, which that's next on the list, but that's the easy way to do it. So for instance, in bank 14, when I want to write the names of those songs, you can see the names of those songs right here. Song name 0. And it started here and it wrote, and then when it saw this is the line break. So it skipped down 2 lines and then did the next song and did a line break, and then it skipped down all the way until it saw an end, which is FF. So the end right here, that's when it stopped. So that's going to be really great for like RPGs where you want it to say things like, for instance, look what's also in here. Where is it? Here you go. Your experience power up. Your experience level has gone up. Break. Your magic power has increased. Now, you could also get further clever and have some kind of note or string end event that would only have to do this once and then skip down to whatever increased. You could figure out clever ways to do things like that. But the point is, right now, you can jump to any bank to load graphics, especially when you're dealing with text data. And one of the main reasons that I reworked that was thinking ahead to the RPG module and GamerQuest specifically, and knowing that I was going to need to do that for all of the stats that have to pop up, and knowing that story-based games, text adventures, RPGs are going to probably want to make use of some of that storage space for text instead of graphics or whatever. So anyway, that's a look at what's going on this last 2 weeks. We are cranking now. I'm feeling really good about progress. I'm getting close to a feature lock on everything except for AI here. So in the next week or two, I'll have muscled everything back in that was here before into Mystic Searches, and we are barreling forward with the map, and then we'll be working on bosses and AI, which is super exciting. The last thing I want to show you is why I'm going to have to take a couple of days to break, because changing the text boxes the way that I did had one unfortunate side effect, and that is I had to put the text routines in the static bank, and that is this guy. And what you can see is there is almost no room free in this static bank, which is where all my primary functions have to live. So I'm going to have to do some optimization of this and see what of this I can push over to my sort of reserve banks, which are 14 and 18 right now. So that's the first order of business for next week, and that's not very exciting. It's very time consuming, and it is the single reason why developing for the NES takes so freaking long. So I'm gonna be working on that next week, and then I'll be working in the shops. I'll be working in what those songs actually do when you invoke that music, and some other really fun stuff, and continuing to work on the map and the brand new start screen, which I'm super excited about. So I can't wait to show it to you. Anyway, that's it for this week. Thank you guys so much for hanging and checking out this video. As always, if you guys like the video, please subscribe. Please let people know that this is a thing. If you want to get started making a NES game, check out the new8bitheroes.com, and we can't wait to see what you create with the software.